Mr. Rogue, hello, man. Welcome. I'm just doing kind of a quick stream today to kind of maybe show folks kind of what I do as I'm getting ready for a gig. I'm playing tonight in Walla Walla, Washington, and I've got to make sure that my guitar is in good shape and that it's set up properly and all that stuff. And I know it's set up properly. I just went over it this morning for a bit. Yeah, and I'll get warming up a little bit. I usually have a warm-up routine that I do in about the last, if I have 15 minutes before I perform at a show, I have a routine that I go through to get my picking hand, get the blood flowing. I use a trick from Paul Gilbert in doing that. And then I also use the circle of force in playing chords and scales to get my left hand loosened up and ready to go for playing bar chords for 3 hours straight, ultimately. Rogue, thank you. I have a Strat here that you would probably recognize if you're a fan of the THEFALCRO at all. I have his beautiful Ruby guitar sitting on a guitar stand right next to me here. I'm so lucky that I have a friend like that that will trust me with his instrument. I don't know too many guys who wouldn't trust me with their guitar. I take pretty darn good care of them. Except for this one, which... just for the record, I did none of this to this guitar. I absolutely did not make a scratch in this thing, aside from my pick, this little white stuff here on the pick guard. I don't know what he used on this, but I can't believe it's all not gone yet. I've played probably 200 shows on this guitar alone, which is a lot if you think about it. How many gigs does a guy do in a year, you know, playing in a cover band? You know, I've used this guitar a lot. Hi, Charlie. Hey, thanks for that note, man. It was really great to hear from you. It was fun to respond to that and share a little bit with you some of the exciting stuff that's going on in my life. Life is being very, very good to me right now, and I'm very happy. Yeah, Joe, hello, man. Sorry I didn't say hello. It's great to see you. Thanks for stopping in. This is not going to be any kind of big monumental stream at all, like doing the work that I've done on guitars. Last was 4 years ago. Roke, you need to get back out and start gigging. And, you know, I went through a long spell of not playing gigs. I left the same band that I'm with right now and spent, I don't know, close to 8 years not playing any shows, and it was a very I don't know, to have a stretch that long in my personal life not playing a show was really I don't know if depressing is the right word to use, but it definitely took me back a couple of steps because of course I wasn't playing as much. And you know, I just love, I live for playing in front of people and having that audience interaction and seeing people singing and things like that. It's just, oh, picking a new singer, dude. That's great. That can be a tough position to be in, to find a really proper singer. Roke, are you going to be doing original music? Or are you going to be, are you putting together a cover band? I play in a cover band currently. We actually have a mix of covers and original music, as most bands do that play covers. But we are, this entire year, we have not done 0 original songs at shows. We have a couple that were, that got fairly popular from our last record, Keep On Dreaming. Actually, the first record, there's a song on it called Bag of Weed that our vocalist Scott wrote. And well, that's probably our most famous song. It's a really wonderful story. And it's a love song. And it's not about a person in love with a bag of weed. It's about a person who is spending some time with the person that they love and a bag of weed. All I need is you and a bag of weed. Yeah, and cover 2, but the lead. but been about 37 years. Career got in the way, man. Oh, that happens, believe me. Or children, you know, raising a family. There ain't a whole lot of time for being in a band when you're doing all that stuff. And God bless you for taking on your career. I had the same thing happen to me. Got my wife, we got pregnant. I say it like that. We got pregnant, not she got pregnant. We got pregnant. And I had to stop playing in a very successful band to make sure that my family was taken care of. And I'm very proud of myself for doing that. That's why I wear this necklace that stands for being a provider. I'm an avid fisherman. And so that's my story. I became a journeyman plumber, and I made a very good living at that for a lot of years. Said it was a weed. Chose the weed, yeah. That's like the hey, the Falcro, Richard, hello, man. I'm going to I'm hoping that I have enough time here, and I know this may not be terribly exciting because I'm not going to be playing a whole lot. Not that that's terribly exciting anyway, but I have fun doing it, and I'm glad that some of you will take a little bit of your time to listen. But I'm going to likely be taking, let me see, Mad Magician. Yeah, that's funny. That's the one about, and I'm going to miss her. There's a so country song about going fishing, and she said, go pick me or fishing. Some of those country tunes, their plays on words are genius. I love that stuff. You know, and another interesting little tidbit about me this weekend, in fact, or not in fact, just somebody hit me on to, oh no, one of my best friends in the whole world, Mr. Mark Tanner, referred me. Yeah, these strings. I don't know. I'd like to see if you can see this, but these strings. It's not going to focus well enough. You're not going to be able to see it on that camera. But there's where the frets are. There are little black lines on these strings, and because I've used these strings for probably, and I'll get back to Mark Tanner. I've probably used these strings for 2 gigs and maybe 30 guitar lessons. So they've been played a lot, you know, so you gotta, I don't want to go to a gig and break a string live on stage. They're paying me to play guitar, not change strings. So, you know, if you are in a band, it's really advisable to, you know, I do recommend before every show, but there are occasions where you can play a set of strings for a couple of shows and be pretty darn safe. I rarely ever break a string on any of my instruments. So Mark hit me to, and I had a really great reunion with an old friend last night. I had a really great evening last night, and I even drank a couple beers, just a couple. I don't sit around and get wasted. That's not my MO. Took my dog. Oh, Joe, dude. Oh, you're a journeyman electrician. Okay, good for you. Yeah, I obviously I no longer do work as a plumber, but I could. If I walked out my front door right now and the first plumbing shop I walked to in town, I would have a job in less than 10 seconds. Hey, I'm a journeyman. When can you come to work? But I'm done getting hot and sweaty in the summertime, even though the money's, you know, $60 an hour or whatever it is. I don't know what journeymen are making now. I don't care. I would rather stay in a nice air-conditioned office or bench and keep myself comfortable in temperature. And I don't like freezing cold. I am not a big person. Look at my arm. You know, but this little guy right here, this little mofo has busted loose some 4-inch threaded galvanized pipe. Yeah, with a 4-foot pipe wrench. You know what I'm saying? That's some power. So I just don't enjoy getting cold. The money's awesome, but getting cold and wet, and I'm not into that. I don't want to, I'm not going to do that anymore. So I enjoy what I do. Falcro, I hope you're having a really great day, dude. And kind of a bummer about your last live stream. And, you know, it's, how do you know? You can't know, I guess, when you play a song that somebody requests, if it's going to get your entire stream globally blocked. And, you know, it's a bummer for those people who you shared their music and shared their stories and all of that stuff. And because of one person requesting a song that's obviously copyright protected, your show gets canceled. I don't know how you can, I don't know how you can combat that. But anyhow, Mark Tanner, he and his lady friend. Yes, he has a lady friend. I have some inside info on some people that you all know and love. Mark Tanner is one of the kindest people in the world. He's such a cool friend and a generous soul and very talented human being in so many ways. He and his girl and I had a wonderful video chat last night, about 12 hours ago. We kind of got done, and he hit me to a Nickelback tune. Believe it or not, yes, I listened to Nickelback. I listened to it last night, and it was fun to rehear. I mean, I haven't listened to any Nickelback for, God, dude, you know, they get the bad rap and all that, but Jesus Christ, was Chad Kroeger a smart, talented, great songwriter. But Mark threw one of their songs at me and I had to listen to it again. It just brought back some great memories of that era. Those guys wrote about sex, man. Woo! They didn't mince words. Some really great storylines in some of their songs, and really cool to. Nickelback has some good, yeah. You know what? My knees hurt. I agree with you. I agree with you 100% on that. They had, yeah, all of their popular songs, the B-side stuff. Dude, some of that stuff was heavy and had, I think, maybe less hooky stuff, like knees around your ankles. You know, I mean, of course, that's going to sell millions. But, you know, and, you know, when he says that, what is she doing? Is she taking a leak or something else going on? Anyway, yeah, some of their B-side stuff was, dude, it was incredible. And I purchased their first record. Let's see, I don't think I bought any more albums after that because they were on the radio so much. Didn't make a whole lot of sense to buy the album, as much as I hate to say that, because no, I'm a very big supporter of people buying hard copies and full presses of albums and listening to the whole thing as a work of art, which is a lost art anymore. Just the art of listening to an album has been lost. It's really sad. Now, I'll also add just a little bit here. So Nickelback, it was really fun last night. I had a great conversation with my buddy Mark. It'd been a while since we'd had an opportunity to catch up. If you know us at all or any history, he and I met long before there were any online. When we were involved in a online music community that we both left, gladly left. The guys that runs it is a complete piece of work, but nonetheless, we became friends because he was building guitars at the time, and he saw a couple of my guitar repair videos and reached out to me, and we just instantly became great friends. And the next thing you know, we were a band. And we were a band separated by about the greatest distance two humans can be separated on this earth. So anyway, Mark, I hadn't had a chance to really visit with him too much over the last few months, because this summer I've been so busy doing exactly what I'm doing right now, getting ready for gigs, getting loaded up, getting to the gigs, just very playing in a band like I'm in, and having the amount of opportunities to play, we seize those because we love playing music so much. So I've been so busy that I haven't had a lot of time to catch up with folks. And I'm trying to go live during the week when I'm at my bench. Working on stuff, but I'm also currently, I haven't done one of these for a while, and I had a great opportunity. I'm actually going to do a produced video of a guitar repair that I recently have done, and it's a very, very special guitar. I did like a 3-minute long video the other day about the sentimental value of this instrument. And sadly, I never met the owner, the original owner of the instrument, but I'm doing a full edited, maybe some time lapse video on the reconstruction of a guitar. And it's an interesting one if you're into working on guitars, because what I will be doing in this video, and I'll just kind of spill the beans a little bit, let you in on what I'm up to, is I'm converting a left-handed guitar into a right-handed guitar. And if you have any idea of the scale of work that is, you know what I'm up against. You've got to shift the saddle direction. You've got to recut the nut, and you've got to shift the saddle direction so that the intonation of the instrument is correct, which I literally got that done yesterday and shot video. It was just awesome. It turned out so awesome. 9.5s, cool. I have let me see, does this tuner show up? I wonder if, let me look at I've got this audio, or the software. I'm using my, what is the thing? It's a Tone Master Pro, and it has some software called the Pro Control. And I don't know if I can make the tuner. I don't think I can make the tuner show up on this. So I'm gonna have to. I'm not gonna be looking at the monitor. Let's see. So I'm tuning her up. I was close. That was E flat. That's B flat. So I missed that by a little. That's C. So I'm bringing it up to D. I'm just telling y'all, showing y'all how terrible my ear is anymore, right? I was pretty close on all of them. I've been putting strings on guitars so long that just in turning the machine head, I can kind of tell that the string's getting awful close to being in pitch. And also with this Strat, I do have a floating vibrato bar on it. It's not a tremolo bar, it's a vibrato bar. Tremolo is volume, vibrato is pitch. So we bend the pitch with this thing. I just clarifying some. So, oh yes, and it's an output jack. It's not an input jack. I know how many times have I said that? You guys, let's see. What guitar will you be doing that to? It is a Seagull acoustic guitar. It's not an electric. Trying to convert an electric from lefty to righty is a whole other story, because we're talking about new necks, possibly in some cases. And if you have a left-handed guitar that was built correctly, the volume pots will turn the opposite direction. Yeah. So, anybody, man, I just, I know that it's a necessity, or it's necessary, but I do personally, as an instructor and as a well-experienced guitarist, if a left-handed youngster comes into my store and wants to play guitar, I always encourage them to buy I guess this is considered a right-handed guitar. We always are using. They're all ambidextrous, but and obviously for obvious reasons, go buy a left-handed guitar. Go to the guitar store and see what guitars you have to choose from. And chances are, in a lot of cases, they won't have one single left-handed guitar, especially in today's market. The guitar heyday is over. Everybody's buying them online. So the Guitar Center days and Apple Music days, they're all gone. So I always encourage someone who might be interested in playing guitar and they're left-handed, I do encourage them to play righty. And I will just, I've had, let me just, I'm going to guesstimate because I know I've had more than this, but I've had about five students who were true left-handed, meaning they threw a baseball or a softball, because I've had a couple girls who were left-handed, and all of them learned to play right-handed. We'll call it right-handed, and they became very good guitar players. Astonishing. And they could walk into any guitar store in the world and buy any guitar that they had ever dreamt of. If you learn to play on a left-handed guitar, unfortunately, your guitar supply is going to be very limited. And my good friend Jampro has a wonderful YouTube channel and a very, very smart, well-educated audio engineer and studio technician, mix engineer. He plays left-handed, and he owns a bunch of left-handed guitars, and he's kind of gone to a brand that has a pretty good reputation in the guitar world. Give me a second here. Doggone it. I'm for some reason I'm wanting to say Aria, but they're not. Doggone it. I can never remember that brand. I don't see them very often. Agiles, whatever. And he does have some beautiful guitars made by Agile. I'll just call them Agile. And forgive me, I'm not looking at the chat too much. I'm tuning up and stretching strings, and you can see my method for sets and strings. If you haven't ever tried this, I do recommend giving this a shot, because I'm putting these strings on. We'll be playing here at 7 p.m. So 5 hours from now, we'll be hitting the stage. And I have every confidence that after putting these guitar strings on right now, that I will be able to play that show and have no issues and no worry of breaking a string. So that's what I done. Let's see. Yeah. My knees hurt. You're absolutely right. But my point in encouraging left-handed guitarists to play righty is just simply due to the fact that there aren't very many left-handed guitars that they have available to buy. You can walk into almost any music store in the world and they will have 0 left-handed guitars. And if they have any, they might have 5, where you've got, at a Guitar Center, you would have thousands potentially of acoustic or electric right-handed guitars. So that's my point in making that. All right, let's. What I just did was I abused my strings, about as abused as I make it when I play the guitar. I bend some notes pretty far sometimes. And I found that really helps to, I think, set the strings in the nut and on the saddles. So when you're playing live, you've gotten all that really aggressive bending out of the way, and the guitar will stay in tune more consistently throughout a 3-hour or 4-hour show. I'm pretty darn close here. And I am going to play this a little bit. I do have to make a small adjustment. I don't know if any of you, I just kind of asking the question, if any of you noticed if you heard something kind of odd when I was bending those notes right then and there. And I will do it again to kind of show you why I'm doing what I'm doing. Oh, this is standard. Yeah. Most of the time when I'm working on a Strat, I grab metric wrenches because 99.99999% of them are made in a foreign country where they're metric, where they have smart measurements, unlike us. But this one, I have an American made tremolo bar on this. Now, just before I do this, listen to what happens here. If I take the A note and I try and bend it up to a C, oh man, it starts fretting out right there. I can't even hit that note. So what I'm doing is I am raising this saddle, and I'm going to go a half a turn on each pull piece here that raises my action. So we're going to do a half a turn, and then we'll retune the guitar. Now let's see if I can get that 3-fret bend, and that was just literally a half a turn on each one. That's already feeling a little better, but I need to bring it about a quarter turn more, I think, to make those bends bend into pitch and be a note. that is audible. So this is something you gotta, I kind of look for on all the guitars that I set up, even my own. Okay, let's check our tuning again. I know my E string, oh, that's dead on. And again, even at home, the last thing I do is cut the strings off on the headstock, just because if you cut them off before you're done, you will instantly have to take the string off the guitar. It seems like it's staying, it's holding tune just like I expect. And that tiny adjustment really, I kind of feel like I would like the action a little bit lower than that, but I can live with it just because I can't, I won't handle, I will not tolerate at having a note disappear. And I got to be able, at minimum, to get a 3-fret bend. That's my rule for me. And also, you know, just kind of something new to me is the Tone Master Pro that I'm playing through that you're hearing right now. This is my tone that I'm going to use tonight, and I've kind of dialed this in simply because in playing with backing tracks and with recordings that I've recorded with our band, which nobody's going to hear that anytime soon, trust me on that one, that this tone really works well. And, you know, all by itself, it might sound a little bit, I don't know, odd. Slight fret lifting. On this one, no. No, it's not a fret lifting. That was an adjustment I think that I had made. Yeah, and I don't walk on water. I think I did lower the action on this. Right around the time that the Falcro was staying with me here and or came for a visit, and I got a little zealous. I was a little more aggressive than I should have or could have been with this guitar. I lowered the action too far, you know, and I didn't check it, I guess, properly. That's my excuse for having that happening. Let me see. I want to play this with a track just to kind of make sure that that it's adequate here. Let's see what this track is. I don't know what these are. I haven't played along with them. This is actually a really cool backing track. It's nice and clean. I got a tap tempo that I'm doing. Okay, so something I'm going to try and do right now is play every note in the scale but the tonic. So the tonic of this key is actually D minor. So I'm going to avoid hitting the D note as best I can. Avoid the tonic. That's tough, man. That's kind of a fun little exercise to do with yourself. If you know where the notes are on the fingerboard, and trying to avoid the tonic is a great practice for actually remembering where the tonic of a pitch is, and say D, or well, that was in D. But trying to avoid that note, shockingly, helps you remember where that note is. Think about it for a minute. It's kind of a cool little technique. I do that quite often, just in my practice time. Have a press, but I do use a dowel sometimes. Yeah, you could use a dowel to set the frets. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Richard, I remember doing that. My knees hurt. Thank you. I appreciate the compliments on my sound, and I do sound like me. I hear it a lot, and this is anybody in the world could have this guitar tone if they had the Tone Master Pro. You could dial all your knobs in, and everything will be set exactly. You could set it up exactly like mine, but you're not going to sound like me. And that's we all know that. Yeah, thanks, Joe. So it sounded like that with a backing track, but all by itself. And yeah, I do have an octave effect on that. I've been messing around with the octave effect, which is kind of fun. It's kind of a Hendrixese type. And I also, on this one, I have a feedback. The Freak Out pedal Falcro that you're so in love with. have a lot of fun with that one. That's a really cool pedal. And I haven't used that. I just inserted that pedal into my pedal board. I have about 3 different pedal boards with this ToneMaster Pro. You guys, this piece of equipment, the Fender ToneMaster Pro, is they're a little expensive, but you know, I've reinvested. I've used the money that I've earned using other equipment to pay for this. It's paid for itself ultimately, and since buying it, it has paid for itself. Great suggestion. Wow, nice. Yeah, so Falcro, the pedal actually does work pretty darn good. And I'll go back here. This is my whoops. This is my main guitar rig. Use a cab and playing live. No. I'm done packing speaker cabinets to gigs. Yeah, no, I don't really. In our band situation, I don't need one. I use a cab IR in the ToneMaster Pro, which I'm playing through. On the left side, you're hearing a Fender 1960B with greenback 25s in it. It's a 100-watt cabinet. And then on the right side, they're blended a little bit towards the middle. You're hearing a Mesa Boogie, the classic V30 Mesa Boogie amp, both using a Shure 57 set about 1 inch away from the edge of the cap. I set them up that way just to avoid any type of phase problems. So no, I don't use a cab. In fact, my entire guitar sound and vocal and what I need to hear from the drummer, if anything, and our bass player and vocalist all comes through a 110 full range floor monitor. And it is a PV, it's a PV brand powered monitor. All of our speakers in my band are powered. We're also running an 18-inch powered PV sub. It's like a 300 watt. It will light it up. It's plenty loud. So you just into the PA, yeah. Yes, and I'm also running, believe it or not, I know some guys will call this stupid, but why not? I can run stereo. So there are, you know, like you can hear it, like right now, this is just basically the stereo field and what you're hearing right now is just the different speaker cabinet on your right and left side. The Mesa Boogie is slightly on your right, the Marshall is slightly on your left. However, when I turn my chorus pedal on, and I have done this intentionally where it makes a very wide stereo field, so and also my flanger will do the same thing. and my delay is totally mono. Yeah, and you know, my knees hurt. I've been doing this so long. I used to pack a Mesa dual rec and a JCM 800 and 412 cabinets to a gig when I was 24 years old. I was young, stupid, and volume at that point in time, of course, we're invincible. We don't realize what we're doing to our hearing until it's far too late. Anymore, I go to a gig. I in general, I think my blood glucose is probably coming up a little bit. I was worried about being a little bit low earlier, so I did a little bit of preemptive strike. Yeah, it's a little bit high. Forgive me, guys. Not forgive me. Give me a moment. I gotta take an insulin injection, and I'm totally done having to take anything but the Tone Master Pro, my guitar, and basically I go to the gig with 2 backpacks. One of them has all my diabetic supplies in it. The other one has my guitar amp, cables, wireless system, in-ear monitors, all of that's in that. So 2 backpacks and a guitar. Literally, I leave my house in one trip. I can take all of this stuff 5 stories down to the street and not have to touch an amplifier or pick anything heavy up at all. And you're hearing, you know, on my live streams, when you hear me play, you're hearing what the audience will hear at our show tonight. And I doubt anybody there is going to be going, "Oh, you're not playing through a real amp. You don't have good guitar tone." Nobody's going to say that. Anybody who would probably should go home. I just, you know, so you get really great tone. And with the technology where it is now, with all of this stuff, there really isn't a whole lot of, I don't know. I'm biased because I've been doing this way. I mean, not totally this way, but I've been doing it where I don't have to take an amp and a cabinet, and I'm never that guy at the show that has his guitar amp by his ankles like all these guys do, and they turn it up so loud that everybody in the place hates him, because that's the only way the guitar player can hear it. It's always pointed at their ankles, and then they turn it up so loud enough that they can hear it, but they forget, all of them forget, that there are people sitting 10 feet in front of them, that amp is pointed right at their fucking face. And it's rude, number one, and people do not like that. I certainly haven't played more shows than anybody, by any stretch of the imagination, but I have played hundreds, and there aren't too many dudes that can say they played hundreds of shows, let alone 1,000. But I'm never that guy. We are never that band that is too loud. And I have to be careful about saying that, because once in a while, if we're in an environment, we do have an acoustic drum kit, and the rest of the band has to be loud enough through the PA system to balance that mix out. And in a lot of cases, we do mic up the drum kit just to get a little bit of it in the PA to balance everything a little better. It's a very subtle trick, and we've done it for so long and tested it so many times and played so many different environments. So we have our sound really well dialed in. Yeah, exactly. Carry 2 of them at the same time. Yeah, you ain't kidding, man. But even, you know, I will add to that even I'm taking 2 units of insulin, by the way. I took a dose. I literally just took that much insulin. You know, and if you're triggered by needles, I'm sorry. I'm a diabetic. I have to do this to stay alive. And if you do have trouble with addiction, call me, send me an email, and I will get you help. I'll make no bones about it. Somebody will call you in minutes, whether it be alcohol or any other substances. But I have to take shots every day to stay alive, and I do it this way so that my health, the medical, the hospitals, and doctors and emergency rooms are not going to have to deal with me because I didn't take care of my health, because I know what I have wrong with me and I know how to control it and make sure that I'm as healthy as my friends that don't have diabetes. So yeah, there's my soapbox on diabetes. Take care of yourself if you're diabetic. What is the bass player playing through? Yeah, that's a great question. Our bass player uses an amplifier on stage, and that is primarily his and our drummer's monitor. The fact that we have to now, let me just also, we're often squeezed into fairly small spaces, or if it's a big space, it's so packed that we have to keep plenty of room open for people to be able to watch our band. So we have very small floor monitors. Again, they're a 10-inch speaker with a horn, and that is, we do have 12-inch monitors. Don't get me wrong, but this 10-inch uses far less space, which offers our audience more room, which can get more people into the bar, which means more people buying alcohol, which means the bar makes more money. So yes, he does play through an amp. However, we do DI him off of his pedal board into our board, and we can mix him in with the band, which putting his bass guitar and the kick drum, getting some of that signal, that 30 hertz going through that subwoofer, which not a lot of 30 hertz on our bass guitar, but definitely 60. Putting that through that sub really fills out that bottom end. And it's not terribly loud. It's amazing how loud bass frequencies are. They just go through everything, even human beings. It's just a big bag of water, and the sound goes right through it. So you don't need to... You don't have to have your low end like cranked. So we've got a very oh yeah, good. Congratulations. Always encourage her. Yeah, he plays through he just bought a new what is it? I think it's an Aguilar 115. It's odd to see a bass player play through a 115 in this day and age. Usually it's a 210 or, but he's got a 115 and it is light. But with bass, you got to have that sound reinforcement. He's playing through, I think, 1,000-watt head, and it takes a lot of energy to amplify bass frequencies. Thus, he brings an amp and a cabinet to our shows so that he can hear himself, and we don't have to push that low end through our wedges on the stage, which that much low end going through a wedge to amplify it in the room could damage some speakers. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to that. Fender, Rumble, Boss Katana, or Ampeg all have T10. Yeah, that's true. And cabinet, yeah. Bass amp, cab, yeah. And that's unless you have a really, really, really powerful, and I have to use the word expensive PA system. You are, even if if you're playing in a cover band like myself, we don't have tens of thousands of dollars worth of PA gear. We're not running the highest end liner aid stuff money can buy. We're playing through PV equipment because it's reliable, and my shop is a PV dealer, and I get a good deal on the stuff because I sell it for a living. But it can handle the stuff. But having a bass guitar go through equipment that is not super high end and super big, because we're fighting for space. And we're fighting for having the cleanest, clearest, best sound the audience can hear. That's ultimately my job. And so having that bass running through an amp doesn't have us have to turn up the bass guitar and the monitors. And even in the mains, in some cases, we barely have to put any in there, just given the fact that his cabinet's pointed the right direction and our drummer can hear him and they can get locked really well. So, I got some strings on. I got my strings changed. I'm ready to go for my gig. We're going to be leaving in about 25 minutes. We're headed to Walla Walla, Washington, which is about straight through, it's about a 2-hour drive from here. We do get paid very well to play where we're playing. We play for 3 hours, and oftentimes we get asked to stay a little longer. People love our set. And it is possible, I'll just say it's possible that I may go live with the band tonight, and we'll hope that if I can do that, that I can turn my phone sideways. And I know I can do that now. Yes, my knees hurt. We do mic the drums. We always have a mic on the kick drum. We usually do one that's centered around the toms, but pointed kind of at the snare. So it's an interesting miking setup that we have. And we don't give any crap about phase. We're a live band. Go ahead and complain. But people can hear the drum kit regardless. We point one across the top of the toms at the snare, and then we usually have one overhead. And in all honesty, yeah, thanks, Joe. I will. In all honesty, we rarely put very little of the overheads in the PA system. Those mics are really primarily for our drummer and our vocalist, who both use in-ear monitors. And those mics really add a lot of room. And it's just a touch, but you know, you hear bands about they're pointing microphones out at the audience and such so they can hear the room and all that stuff. The way that we have ours set up and the type of microphones that we're using does a great job of picking up the room sound, so that when we put that in their in-ear monitors, they don't have that, I'm trapped inside my headphones and it sounds like I'm in a box. No, they get that real full room open sound as if they're not wearing IEMs. And that is a very cool trick. And I've learned that from advice from many of my friends, probably firstly by Mr. Jamprosound. So go over and subscribe to his channel. Go ahead and feel free to hit the thumbs up and leave a comment. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will do my best to answer those. I know I didn't do anything too crazy. You guys have all seen this 1,000 times. But this is my kind of day getting ready. And yes, I'm wearing Tacos from Hell. This is a Slayer tribute band out of Portland, Oregon. And the vocalist / bass player who plays Tom Araya in Tacos from Hell is the actual bass player from the band Everclear. Remember those guys? Yeah, they're from my hometown, Portland. I ran into those guys all the time, and I know them all of them. Although the singer, what was his name? There's some reason I can't never remember his name. So if you ever have a chance to, and you enjoy Slayer, go see Tacos from Hell if you're in the Portland area. They're killer band, right? Okay. You guys have a wonderful day. Thanks for being here. Hit the thumbs up, hit subscribe. I know y'all are, but have a great day. Have a fun Saturday. Maybe we'll see you a little later on tonight. Peace.